Hey there! Today we're going to learn exactly how to calculate a standard deviation. Don't worry at all if it seems confusing at first. It's a fairly mechanical process, so as long as we follow the steps correctly, we're going to do great.
Imagine we have 3 data points. One is at 2 units and 2 are at 5 units. It doesn't matter what those units are for now. The first thing we need to do is calculate the mean. 2 plus 5 plus 5 equals 12 and 12 divided by 3 equals 4. We've represented that with a vertical dotted line. Next, we measure the distance from our data points to the mean. In our case, we have one data point that is 2 units away from the mean and 2 data points that are each 1 unit away from the mean. Next, we square each of those individual distances. We have one data point that is 2 units from the mean. When we square that, we get 4 units squared. And we have 2 data points that are each a distance of 1 from the mean. When we square those, we get 2 areas of 1 unit squared each. We add up the area of those squares. In our case, 4 plus 1 plus 1 equals 6 units squared. See, the standard deviation stuff isn't all that bad. Next, we divide by the number of data points we had in our original sample. In our case, 6 units squared divided by 3 data points equals 2 units squared. The math here is pretty tolerable. It's the calculations that get a bit annoying. Finally, all we have left to do is to take the square root of the remaining area. If we squish the 2 unit square rectangle down into a 2 unit square square, the square root would just be the length of one side, which is root 2. And there's our answer. The standard deviation of the data we're discussing here is root 2 units. And now we're done. Let's recap. First, we calculate the mean of our data points. Second, we measure the distance from each of our data points to the mean. Third, we square each of those individual distances. Fourth, we add up those squared distances. Fifth, we divide by the number of data points in our original sample. Sixth, and finally, we take the square root to give us the standard deviation.
And there we go. Standard deviations, while quite annoying to think about, are really not as bad as they look. So long as we follow the steps, we'll end up on top.